as decorators, we're hired by customers to make a difference to their homes and surroundings. But how many of us are making the most of the changes we make every day? If you're not capturing the differences you're making to people's homes, then you're missing out on a massive opportunity to showcase your work to potential new customers and generate more income. In this video, I'm going to show you a few little hints and tips that will help take your photography to the next level. That's coming up after this. Welcome back to today's video. Thanks very much for joining me. If you're a decorator, a DIYer, or just love decorating, then you're in the right place for business advice, paint and decorating tips, and just general decorating chat. If you find this content useful, please consider liking, subscribing, and even clicking the bell icon where you'll be notified when we upload new content like this. Thanks for your support. Every like and subscribe really helps grow our channel. As painters and decorators, most of the work we carry out is visual. So doesn't it make sense to take the best photographs we can of the work we carry out? Now I know what you're saying, you need a fancy camera to take fancy photographs. Well, no you don't. Nowadays, mobile phone cameras are perfectly adequate to take a really decent photograph. In 2015, I started this YouTube channel as a way of showcasing my work to potential customers. However, I soon realised this was the wrong social media channel. I kept being told the best place to showcase my work was on Facebook and Instagram, and it turns out they were right. However, I didn't know how to take a photograph, so after many years of learning, failing and succeeding, picking up little hints and tips, now can take a reasonable photograph of a room. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. As I say, I don't know everything about taking photographs. If you've got any ideas or little tips and hints that help, then please leave them in the comments below and we can all share them. If you find this content useful, then please click subscribe, like, and also if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified when we upload more content like this. Here are a few quick and easy tips to improve the photographs you take of the rooms you've decorated. I've broken this up into two sections. Firstly, we're going to look at how to set up your camera on your phone to take the best pictures. The second section is about how we take the best possible picture of the room that you've decorated. The first thing you need to do is make sure the lens is clean. There's nothing worse than greasy finger marks from Greg's all over the lens. Ah, Greg's. Do you remember Greg's? Anyway, right, sorry. The next thing is to make sure that you're taking your photographs at the right time of day. The best time really is between 10 AM and 3 PM, avoiding direct sunlight because you don't want to photograph into direct sunlight. You need to be in the shadows, but the best possible light is probably between 10 and 3, maybe a little bit later in the summer and a little bit earlier than 3 o'clock in the winter, but that's generally the sort of time you want to be aiming for. Now let's look at the settings on your phone that will need to be turned on and off. Firstly, you need to make sure that your flash is turned off because we don't want any artificial light. We need to be using natural light. So make sure that's turned off like this. The next thing we need to do is make sure the grid lines are on. This is going to make a really big difference later on when it comes to making sure that the room looks square in the frame. So definitely put on the grid lines, and you do that like this. And that's it really. That's all we need to do to make sure the phone's ready to take a decent picture of the room we've done. And now we've got the phone set up, the fun can really start. We're on to taking a picture of the room. So if that means pulling the curtains right back, letting all the natural light flood in. We don't really want to use any artificial light. We just want to rely on the natural light of the room. Also, natural light will stop your photographs looking grainy and dark. So what I'm trying to say is natural light is your friend. So now we've opened the curtains, got lots of natural light flowing into the room. What we need to do is use a camera to go around the room and try and find a nice composition, a nice shot of the room. A few tips here. You can try using different angles, down low, maybe up high. Shoot into a corner of the room from one corner to another. If you are shooting from corner to corner, it does help to make the room look bigger. So that's a little tip there. If you want to make a small room look bigger, then shoot from corner to corner. But if you just want to go for that natural sort of run-of-the-mill photograph, what you need to do is shoot from about waist height. So you've got equal amounts of ceiling and flooring, so it's well balanced. And this is where the grid lines come into play. You can line up one of the lines on the camera with something you know that's level in the room. So it could be a door frame, could be a table. It just needs something level, and that'll make the whole frame look nice and square. So now you've found what you want to photograph, just make sure everything is clean and tidy. There's nothing worse than seeing tables and rubbish and junk. So just spend a couple of minutes tidying it all away so it looks neat and tidy, and you've got yourself a clean photo. Don't get carried away by using the wide angle setting on the phone, because it can sometimes distort the room. Take a few photographs by all means, but just be aware that sometimes it can distort the way things look. So you know, it may be okay, but you may end up taking a few photographs and then not using them because they just don't quite look right. Also, don't just take photographs of the work you've done. If you've just done a feature wall, don't just take a shot of the feature wall. Take some nice angles of, including other bits of furniture in that room as well, so it's shot in context. On to the last couple of tips. A good one is use your feet as a zoom. What I mean by this is, don't use the zoom on your camera, on your phone. Use your feet. Step forward a couple of paces to get closer to what you're photographing, or take a few steps back. This is normally a good tip for most shots you're taking. Before you take a shot, take a few steps forward to a few steps back, and you can sometimes make a big difference to what you're going to actually take a photograph of. So yeah, don't use a zoom because it sort of distorts and it's not really a zoom. Step forward, step back. Finally, there are all sorts of bits of gear you can buy to make taking photographs with your mobile phone a lot easier. You can buy tripods, lenses, but we're going to go into that in part 2. However, in the meantime, if you haven't got a tripod and you're stuck for someone to put your camera in, I'm going to show you a little trick using a roll of masking tape. If you're stuck on site and you haven't got a tripod, you want to take a film, take a picture, take a bit of video, but like I say, you haven't got a tripod, you haven't got anywhere to put a camera. If you've got a roll of masking tape, I've got you a little trick. Watch this. Take your masking tape, pull a bit off. With the rest of it, stick onto the wall like that. With the bit you've pulled off, put it underneath the masking tape and just hold it there. And then what you do is you get your phone, pop it in there, and there you go. Perfect little holder for your camera. Now I know this seems like a lot of trouble to go to, but we are trying to get the best photographs we can of your work to put on Instagram and Facebook to showcase the work you carry out. It makes sense to take a little bit of time to get the best photographs you can. After all, it's not like the 80s. We had to buy a film, take your photographs, send them off to get them developed, wait a week, and then when you get them back, only about half of them are any good. We're sport for choice now, we can just click away to our heart's content. So why don't we make the most of it? So what I'm trying to say is really, take as many photographs as you can. Because when it comes to photography, too much is never enough. In part 2 of this series, we're going to be looking at a few more little ways we can make the photographs a little bit more interesting. And like I mentioned, we're going to also be looking at some of the gear we can buy to make our jobs a lot easier. And hopefully, make our photographs a lot better. I hope you found this content useful. If you did, why not click the like button and subscribe, and also click the bell icon and you'll be notified when we upload more videos like this. Also, a quick share amongst your friends would be really useful, and it does help grow my channel, and I really do appreciate it. If you think you'd like me to do a video about, then please leave your suggestions in the comments below and I'll do my best to include them in a future video. If you enjoyed that video, you might enjoy this video. Or why not try that one?